Hello, Taurus, Healing Grasshopper here to do your August 2024 reading. I hope all of you have been well. Let's talk about your astrology first, which is Saturn squaring Jupiter on the 19th. Whoops, that's fine. Sorry. Saturn square Jupiter on the 19th. We'll be focusing on toxic thoughts and behaviors and feeling for empowerment to change them. Um, that's easy enough, right? I mean, well, we'll talk about it. I think we're all going through that to some degree, right? Things have been difficult for all the signs for the past handful of years, and we're just it's created a whole lot of negative thoughts that we have to shed now because we're moving into new lives now, right? We've been given um energy, an atmosphere that's more fertile for manifestation. So it's not necessary for us to be cynical and, you know, in a bad mood about things any longer. The atmosphere is going to lighten up for it, right? And there's the Ten of Swords. It's over now. What? Wow. The Tower. Okay, where is my pendulum? Okay, so the Tower is in deep rust. The cards under it too. All of them. Okay. Tower here or here? Because Tower was here for Capricorn and Virgo. Yours is here though. Three of Pentacles next. And Ten of Swords is upright, right? Okay. Three of Pentacles here. The Sun reversed. The Sun in the center of your focus card. Very nice. Capricorn also got the Sun. An observation that I've made for the past handful of months is the elements have been very much similar to each other, like all the earth sign, fire sign, air sign, water sign, all of the earth signs. So far, the two other earth signs in this month have gotten similar cards, somewhat similar readings. And it's been happening for the past handful of months to the point where I've changed my practices of doing my readings by month. Now I'm doing them by elements because they're all so similar. I like to group them so I can have them fresh in my mind and discuss the elements together, if that makes sense. Um, Death. Is this reverse? No. Okay. Right. Death and the Ten of Swords together. Virgo got these. But anyway, for you, Death and the Ten of Swords together. This is telling you, Taurus, it's over now. Believe it. Right? The heartache and the karmic lessons that we've been going through for the past 15 years with Pluto in Capricorn that's starting to lift in this year. If you haven't seen your yearly reading, go have a look because it talks about the whole Pluto in Capricorn and Aquarius, Pluto moving into Aquarius this year. Um, and that'll be in the description below. Um, it's over now, right? Look at this. It starts in the beginning of the reading with that, out of the gate. It's over now. Believe that it's over. Feel the end of it. Leave it behind. Um, and the tower here. This is all destruction of your old life. And that's why Spirit, I asked Spirit, is it going here? And Spirit said, no, it's here. Because this would have been somewhat a different message. This is very much here. This is not a new tower. This is a tower that you know that you've already experienced. Or for some of you, may, yeah, okay. Yeah, this is for all of you recent past. It's already happened. And of course, yeah, because you have the death here, of course. Okay? So it's over, guys. Three of Pentacles next to the sun. This is more positive things moving into your life. Positive situations, positive atmosphere, but this is positive people. These are people who are more respectful of you that you've experienced in the past. People who value you. And you know, Spirit just put a thought in my mind, a memory. Um, it was one of my lessons in manifestation. Um, and I have several of them. Oh, now a second one came to mind when I said lessons in manifestation. I had started to live in a different area because my grandmother gifted me a house. So I changed my neighborhood, right? So I was getting to know her neighborhood again. I was somewhat familiar with it from childhood, but that's different than living there every day, right? So my father was with me and we were running errands, and this was back when Radio Shack was still in the retail stores, and he had to go to Radio Shack. So we went, and he was like, look, we have to go to the supermarket. Why don't we go to the supermarket here? Because Radio Shack was right next to, at the time, it was a Pathmark. And I was like, no, 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 I don't want to go in that Pathmark. Let's go several towns away to Stop and Shop because it was my favorite excuse me, my favorite supermarket. And he was like, why? Why are we gonna drive that far? Let's just go to Pathmark. And I was like, I refuse to go in there because the people in there, like, there's a lot of riffraff in there. And, my experience in there had always been negative. There were fights and people yelling at their kids and just pandemonium in there. It was very crowded and not nice. I didn't like it. And as I was describing it to him, and he was like, please, we have so many other things. Let's just go. So I was like, you know what? He's right. Let me just be practical and we'll deal with it and go in there. So as I grab a cart and we're just about to go through the automatic doors, I swear to you, someone came and snatched the cart from me. Right as I told my father how ratchet this place was. Right? Oh, someone was taking their bags out of the cart, and I was like, "Can I have the cart?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure." So they were handing me the card, and someone came and took my card. I was like, hey, I was waiting for that card. And they told me to go F myself or whatever. It was whatever they said. It was very, very rude, and took the card. And I looked at my father like, you see? And his mouth was open. He was like, wow, we didn't even get in the place. I was like, I told you. Um, and my father like could not stop talking about it the whole day. He was like, I cannot believe you told me that and that happened. But later on, oh, and then so after that, I didn't go in that path mark, and I did do what I told him that I like to do, which was go several towns away and go to stop and shop, go out of my way because that's what I was used to in my other town that I liked, that I grew up in. So as I started having a better attitude towards my grandmother's neighborhood, I started to notice that things in the neighborhood out of nowhere started getting better, right? And one day, I was driving by Pathmark. I usually wasn't in that area very often, but I turned the corner and there it was, and I saw coming soon Stop and Shop, right? I was like, oh my gosh, wow. So Stop and Shop comes, I'm sorry, I know I'm talking your ear off, but it comes to bear. Um, that I was wondering, I was like, I wonder if it's going to be nice or, it's probably still going to be ratchet because, the Pathmark people are now going to be going to the Stop and Shop, right? So I was like, you know what? Let's be optimistic and excited about the Stop and Shop or whatever. So finally, Stop and Shop does open. And to my delight, it was delightful. Like everything was nice and people were polite to each other and just a whole different experience to the Pathmark that I hated so much. And I was like, how is that possible? Because what happens here? Is it that the Pathmark people went somewhere else? Or did the paradigm shift to suit my own personal manifestation here? And to this day, I go to that Stop and Shop. I seldom go to the one, you know, 6 miles away. Now I have one less than a mile away from me that I'm happy going to, you know. So you see, that was, I, I have learned through the years as I continue to look back at Stop and Shop, because I think about it every time I walk into that Stop and Shop now, that I manifested that Stop and Shop. I've literally turned that crappy Pathmark into a Stop and Shop. Now, the non-believers can say what they want to say, and they would be right. That's their truth. But my truth is I manifested that Stop and Shop. True story, right? I'm going to tell you one more story, much shorter than the Stop and Shop one. I was going through a period in my life where I was much younger, and I had noticed that I struggle with my weight, and I noticed that when I was heavier, I would attract older men, and when I was thinner, I would attract younger men, right? And I was telling my friends this one day, and they weren't believing me. They were like, "Oh, that's all in your head, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, well, here I am. I've gained 20 pounds, and I'm attracting this one type, and I'm talking about grandpas." And they were like, "Oh, come on, really?" I was like, "Yeah, really, like grandpas, like people who are like 15, 20 years older than me, I'm telling you." And my friends in the car were like, "Nah, you're being silly or whatever." Like they were completely doubting me, right? And as I'm trying, so funny, as I'm trying to convince them, there's a beep, right? And the guy next to us is beeping. And by the way, I'm sitting in the passenger seat and we have a full car discussing this. So I look, and there is a guy driving who is clearly much older than me, gray hair and all, trying to get my attention, waving at me and blowing me kisses. Right? And still to this day, the one person out of the whole car that I still know, it's like, wow. You remember that time where you manifested? And these are people who are not spiritual like me, and they swear that I manifested that guy in the car. Okay? So I say all that to say, guys, you bring about what you think about. Okay? If you focus on the sun, you will produce the sun. I can't believe I went through those two stories, but 100% true. Okay? That spirit was really urging me to tell. And I'm sure, you guys have your own stories, and I'd love to hear them. Please put them in the comments. I engage with everyone in the comments, and you'll get an answer from me. Nine of Pentacles. Look at this after the sun. You see? Look at how this is progressing. You've got doom and gloom. That's past you. That spirit is urging you to let go of. Because look at all this beauty you have here. Nine of Pentacles. Enjoying the fruits of her labor in her beautiful garden, talking to her beautiful, sweet little parrot. Or I don't know. Actually, this is a falcon. It's not a parrot. It's got a hood on. So a falcon represents, you know, luxury, right? Because falcons are expensive and they're expensive to keep. So it's absolutely a sign of luxury and wealth. And grapes too around her. And the pentacles all represent wealth and luxury. It's coming, Taurus. And this is what Taurians live for, wealth and luxury and life and leisure. Your difficulties are over. But there's going to take some effort into manifesting first, though. So this is not, hold on, let me get a simple water. This isn't all happening in August, though. This is, who knows, you may see some signs of it. And let me know if some of your blessings arrive. I'd love to hear about it. But it doesn't mean necessarily that it's completely going to manifest. In August, it means that you're going to see signs of it, though. Four of Pentacles, see? You've got, suggestion, warning, promise, and here comes warning again. Don't be this is the miserly, like the Scrooge tightwad card. And this isn't just about money here. This is about, you know, being pessimistic and cynical and, you know, lack mentality, poverty mindset, that kind of thing. Ace of Sword. See, where you have negative thinking and you have the universe here urging you to think positive thoughts. Ace of Swords. That's it for Pentacles. You need at least two more cards here, too. Uh, at least two more cards. Hmm. I mean, all that you can know. Excuse me. One, one more, please. Look at that. Wheel of Fortune came out for the other two. The other two earth signs as well. Two of Wands, reversed, reversed, not reversed. Wheel of Fortune reversed? No. This reversed? No. The Star. You see? This is Four of Pentacles. Don't be a Scrooge and think positively because you've got great things coming to you, the Star. And you've got Wheel of Fortune and Two of Wands. Two of Wands says you should have the expectation of good fortune, but choose good fortune, right? Because you can delay the good fortune by thinking pessimistically, right? And to use that memory of mine, you can stay in that path mark mentality, right? Because you bring about what you think about. I firmly believe that I had, oh, here's another memory that just came that's relevant to the path mark. Um, so, this, anyway, yeah, let me finish the train of thought. Um, I firmly believe that if I had continued my bad attitude and like dwelled on the whole pathmark thing and grumbled about it, I gave myself many, many months of not focusing on the pathmark, focusing on the positive. Um, yeah, it kind of took me out of my way, but I had an alternative. I would go to Stop and Shop and be grateful that I had a Stop and Shop. Okay, it was 6 miles away as opposed to the one, uh, like maybe half a mile away, 1 mile away. But I didn't grumble about it. I was grateful that I had it and blah, blah, blah. And, my attitude about it all was better. And I seldom thought about the Pathmark and then things improved for me. Right? But I could continue to complain about Pathmark and how shitty it was and blah, 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 blah. And that Pathmark would probably still be there to this day. Okay? So that's what this is saying here. You can choose to stay in that old paradigm or you can move on to the better paradigm. Um, excuse me. So the new memory that's relevant to this is so by the way, I came from where I grew up in the suburbs and the pathmark in my grandmother's house is in the boroughs of New York, which is more not quite as suburban as my outer New York suburb, right? It was more urban. So there was a culture shock of me adjusting to urban life. Um, so I had noticed also that, of course, living in the boroughs, you have more foot traffic around your house than you do in the suburbs. And I noticed that there were a lot more unhappy people, like people arguing and couples yelling at each other in the street and that kind of thing. And um, what's it? Oh, yeah, it's like a little green bug. It's an outdoor bug. Um, hmm, take a little sip. Um, of okay, I was talking about the couples, right? So I would tell my friends every now and then. It's funny that people are so angry here and the fighting in the street, and that not a day goes by without at least one person arguing with another. I've noticed in the street. I can hear it from my house. It's disturbing, right? So it took many years, I'd say about 3 years, that I noticed the change. But now, years later, that doesn't happen quite as much. Like every now and then you might hear an argument, but it certainly wasn't the way it was when I first moved in, where literally every day there was someone arguing outside, yelling. Um, and I wondered, like, what, again, like with the pathmark thing, like, what was the change? And I, again, have come to the conclusion that it's the change in paradigm. It's me. I now have a better attitude towards urban life. And and it's not like, oh, there are people still arguing outside. I just don't pay attention to them. No. I live on a corner, um, and I can hear and see everything in my house. Like there's no mistaking what's going on outside. I'm telling you that there's a whole lot less argument. People are less angry. And I know that it's because I've entered a new paradigm. You can create that in your own life. And how did I do that, by the way? In learning not to be so critical of where I live, right? And I also started to enjoy some things about where I live, like access to, I drive, I have a car, but I started to enjoy access to public transportation that I didn't have in the suburbs. Sometimes I want to go into the city and drink and whatever and not have to fight the parking and all that. So I can go hop on public transportation very easily and not worry about driving. It's very convenient and that kind of thing. Um, the food in the boroughs, man, like no other. You've got so many cultures here that you can have, Trinidadian, Indian, Mexican, whatever, Cambodian, Korean, whatever you want, it's here, right? We didn't have that variety in the suburbs. You have to drive into the city for that. Now I live in that area. I've really started to appreciate it. As I started to appreciate where I live more and more, things started to change. I'm starting to wonder how many people I've lost being chatty Cathy here. Reversed? Either of them? No. Maybe good. I'm gonna pat these upstairs. The Six of Pentacles goes very well here with the Ace of Swords. And this is what I call the don't be spiteful card. Be generous. Right? This is choosing love and positivity. Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. Empress, we're gonna put over here with the Nine of Pentacles. Enjoying luxury, Nine of Pentacles is, and they're in somewhat of the same garb of the loose robes. It's about comfort and luxury. But for the Empress, it's because she's pregnant. This is being fertile with ideas, full of abundance. Now with the reverse cards. Reversed? Lots. Four of Swords. I don't know why I'm not coughing so much all of a sudden. Four of Swords talks about taking a beat. If you've got negative thinking, to acknowledge it and release it. And then take a breath, take a moment. Also, if you have negative things that happen in your life, right? Like the pathmark woman that grabbed the cart from you. You can choose to fight with them or you could just move on with your day and find something positive to focus on. But but really this is talking about rest and taking a beat after all of the negative things that you've been through. This is the energy that you're in currently. Six of Wands goes very well over there with the Wheel of Fortune and the Empress and the Two of Wands. Okay. Any more clarity? No. Advice. Any of these? Higher self. One higher self coming. What do we got? Vision. Right? With a little bit of vision, little bit of foresight, you can see your blessing is coming at you. May not feel that way right now, but it's coming. Okay. Yeah, messages from the universe? No. Spirit saying that's the reading. All right, guys. Looking forward to hearing from you in the comments. Thank you for staying this long. If you're not subscribed, please do so. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribes. Those of you who are subscribed, just quickly have a look and make sure you're still subscribed because it can unsubscribe itself sometimes. I don't know how it happens, but it happens. Um, Looking forward to hearing from you in the comments. I think I said that already. Oh, don't forget to hit the like button. I love you, Taurus. Chin up. Things are getting better. And I'll speak to you soon. Love, light, and many blessings.